Hello and welcome to episode 13 of West Ham is Why We Drink, the podcast that's like hanging at the pub with your West Ham mates. As you no doubt can tell, I am not one of your hosts, Wayne or Adam, as they still can't agree to be in the same room together. So the lads asked me to fill in for a couple of episodes. Let me introduce myself to you all, to all you happy fans in West Ham land. My name is Jimmy Sullivan. And yes, I am related to the esteemed co-owner of our beloved club, Mr. David Sullivan, Esquire. I bet you didn't know Davy Boy had a younger brother. You see, I'm kind of the black sheep of the family, as David disowned and disassociated himself with me a few years back on account of my multitudinal entrepreneurial schemes. I was just looking for the right proper little earner to set me up in the lifestyle I deserve. Some of me business enterprises have not been quite as legitimate as my big brother David's artistic video and libido enhancement business. Yeah, of course I mean West Ham United. Although my current venture is rather cool, you might say, as I own a fleet of ice cream vans that service the rugrats of some of your finest local council estates. So if you fancy a cornetto or a good old-fashioned Flake 99, just listen for the tune and Jim will fix it up for you in a flash. Yeah, I've got that from someone else, but it works for me. It does. Anyway, as I said, me mates asked me to introduce this episode. So today is part one of the podcast adaptation of Friday Night Lights from that incredulous YouTube channel, American Hammers TV. The host, a geezer by the name of John, puts Adam, Wayne and James through the paces. Yes, they did entice James back from the dead, so to speak, to partake of the festivities. You get the pleasure of part one today, and on Saturday morning, the lads are going to release part two of that fated broadcast. So anyway, put your feet up, slip into something more comfortable, and enjoy the delights of West Ham is Why We Drink live from Friday Night Lights, which I have convinced the lads they should subtitle Pony and Trap.
Live, everybody. Good to see everybody.
What are you going to do with it? That's a bit gross.
Like, I don't know what Wayne is talking about. There was something going on off air. He's being rude. I'm going to ask him a bunch of questions and see who has the best answers, in my opinion, because I have all the godly knowledge in the world about West Ham. Let's go around and introduce. Wally, let's start with you. Who are you? Where are you? What are you doing for us? And what are you drinking?
I am Wally, and I am drinking a New Orleans concoction called Ohen, which is like an absinthe type liquor. And I am just here to keep score. So any disputes come my way.
But it's not just Wally. Absolutely not. Wally is an integral part here of making sure we have standards of conduct. Yes, and we do this fairly and correctly. And it's all done on paper. That being said, Wally, goodbye. We're going to get ready. Gents, we've got these fellas in the room. These are the boys from West Ham is Why We Drink podcast. Really happy to have everybody here. Hey. Nobody is. You better subscribe to that podcast. It's full of laughs. Let's all go around and introduce ourselves. I think we're all in the same place. We're all in Dallas, right? So we don't need to say where we are, but who are you? How can we reach you? Can we follow you on social media? And what are you drinking, James? Let's start with you.
I am James. I am drinking a very large glass of whiskey and cola, and I believe it's Crown tonight. I'm in Dallas Hammers, and Wayne made me do this.
You'll have fun. You'll be fine. Wayne.
It'll be great.
My name's Wayne Hammer, as you can see just below there, because I'm a total media whore, as Adam will no doubt point out at least half a dozen times during the course of the show. I am the conniving person out of the three of us. I'm the one that does all of the editing on the podcast and makes people sound better when they have like a little girl's voice like Adam. And I also cut out a lot of the deep breathing that James does when he's recording as well. But mostly I do a lot of lying via my editing. So I create things out of nothing. And I'm drinking from a West Ham glass, if you can see it. I've got a very small glass of Jameson with a little drop of water in it, because I'm figuring with my track record I'm liable to lose tonight, so I might as well enjoy it.
Wayne is a magician, of course. He makes things happen that didn't happen on the podcast, and you will probably make that whiskey disappear as well. Adam.
I'm sure I will.
I'm Adam. You can get me on Twitter at AdamFragFrankel. Oh my gosh, too many questions so long ago. I'm drinking the same glass, but I'm drinking a special concoction of mine. I call it a J Detto and Coke. I'm not using Jack, but it's a little bit of whiskey, Angel's Envy, a little bit of Disaronno.
Oh,
hello.
And a little bit of Coke. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, very classy on a Friday night.
Just keep your nose off of the desktop, okay, Adam? That Coke part of it.
Oh, I didn't say. You guys can follow me at Bearded Bass Guy on Twitter.
With that, boys, we're going to get underway. As I just explained, this is a show where everybody competes for likes. We've got a little bit of rivalry in the room, I feel like, tonight. These guys are they're probably a bit too familiar with each other, where this could get fiery. And I'm.
Should we put some money on it as well?
Second of it. I don't know.
Wearing my lucky red hat.
That's up to all you. That's up to all you. Who's floating?
I reckon
tonight?
At the Tottenham game, the first round at the pub on the loser.
Then it's definitely a good shout. So everybody in the audience, we're going to get going. Friday Night Likes. When these guys make a good point, I give them a thumbs up with my overly novelty-sized thumb. So for that first question, Roberto is clearly stealing a living. That man is just ridiculous after the last performance. Who do you think the best thief on the West Ham squad would be? And Adam, I'm going to start with you.
Okay, well, we start off with a nice, easy question. There's an obvious answer here, and that's going to be Aaron Cresswell, because he's a Scouser, isn't he? It's in his blood. Literally, before he learned to talk, he was robbing money out of his parents' wallet. So there really is only one clear answer, and that's Aaron Cresswell.
That's a good answer. I got to say, there's probably very few hubcaps in the West Ham parking lot. Wayne?
Well, I'm not going to go for the obvious joke. I'm going to say Anderson, because the money that we paid for him last year, he seems like he's stoned out of his brains every time he walks out on the field. The only thing I'll give him good marks for is for decent hair. And obviously, I'm only saying that because I'm bald myself. And if I wasn't bald, I wouldn't even give him marks for that. He's lazy. He's not doing anything for us. Where are all those nutmegs from last year? Where's all that disappeared to? All he had with us last year was his tricks. He doesn't even have the tricks this year. Not even one trick. The best trick would be for him to actually turn up on a plane.
There you go, James.
I'm going to go with Mark Noble. I have a secret conspiracy theory that Mark Noble is actually an East London gangster, and he has the board in his pocket, and that's why he gets an extended contract every year. He gets to play more and more and more.
Yeah, Nobes is hanging around for sure. I think they just extended him again.
Yes.
We're not going to see the back of him anytime soon.
He has secret shares in the club.
Exactly.
He might do. Keeping the topic on Roberto, so can you name another West Ham player, past or present, who looks so out of their depth as Roberto does currently? James?
My favorite West Ham trivia question, and the Marco Boogers. But he's always my favorite because of that red card.
Wayne?
I have to go with this season. I have to go with current times, and I'm gonna have to say the guitar playing Mr. Sanchez, because he doesn't have a bloody clue what he's doing, whether he's on the field, off the field, getting dressed in the morning, or taking a dump. I'm sure he doesn't have the clue.
Didn't know you were looking at him that closely, Adam.
There are videos, John.
Oh, I don't want to know, Wayne.
I mean, I'm glad that we've got questions this easy, because there are literally so many players over the years. Like, you can literally do a running order through, like, modern-day West Ham, from jokes like Wayne Quinn in the Championship to, like, I think my number one answer is Savio. We literally pay $9 million for him to replace Craig Bellamy. He starts 10 matches, scores no goals, and then 6 months later, we sell him for $2 million. That is the biggest joke of all.
I'm really happy you brought that up, because I was thinking of another question tonight, which I'm actually going to ask right now, because it involves Savio. Who was the bigger $9 million flop? Savio? Or correct me if I'm wrong, Jordan Hugill. Wasn't he $9 million? He was around about that. So who was the bigger flop out of those two? Adam, we'll start, since you brought Savio up. Let's start up top.
I mean, I think it's got to be Savio, but that's only because Hugh's story isn't over yet. You know, like, he's still performing. He still plays for us. He's just out on loan. And he's, you know, the reality is this. he's actually a really good championship player. And unfortunately, we might need that next season. So
very good point.
So, yeah, I think Savio's definitely the bigger flop.
James.
Definitely, I have to agree with Adam. Unfortunately, it's my least favorite thing to do. But yeah, I think Savio because, as he said, Hugel's story isn't over, and he's doing well in championship. He's scored 7 goals or something, I think. So he's doing okay, and we could actually get some money back if we don't end up, as Adam said, needing him desperately next season in the championship.
I guess my problem with that is to be determined. He can score as many goals as he wants with somebody else, but he ain't done it for us. Wayne.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm having trouble concentrating, John, because every time that Adam mentions Savio, his balls sweat quite a little bit, and it drips on my head here. So,
is there a way to take away likes? Is there a dislike button?
Right there. Maybe the show that comes out on podcast will actually have Adam's normal voice on it.
Maybe this time, or maybe it's a Savio impression.
It's possible. No, I think Hugel right now. For one reason, that opening video he did when he first joined the team, where he said, "I can't wait to go out there with all those bubbles, see all the bubbles."
After quite a lot of hard work, got picked up there, and then from there went to Preston, and then from Preston to here. I mean, it's a pretty amazing route considering 5 years ago I was working behind a bar. It's unbelievable for me. It's still quite surreal now, but I'm just delighted to be here. Upton Park as well, that spoke for itself, and then the big move here, it's a brilliant thing. And I think that the one thing that stuck with me from watching West Ham over the years is the fan base that they've got, and I think it's amazing that how good the fans are here. So I'm looking forward to walking out and hearing the old bubbles. So it's one of them things.
And that's why it was just so pathetic. It was sad.
Incredible. We're staying on the Roberto theme, and I think it kind of does into the second question as well. But let me stay on this one just for one more, and that is think to brighter times. And who is the best West Ham goalkeeper you have ever seen? James.
The best, personally, since I've been watching West Ham, I just have to go with Adrian because he's beautiful and he was passionate and it made me happy. And the Everton penalty shot was great.
Adrian would make probably the best Santa Claus, I gotta say. He's just jolly and people like him.
Yeah.
Wayne.
Has to be from back in the time where we actually won something. Phil Parkes, without a shadow of a doubt, was a gentleman as well as a brilliant goalie. Just knew everything there was to know about the game. Didn't care about going into a clatter. He was a champion, FA Cup. And I love some of the comments that he's been saying lately as well about this dingbat that we got in goal right now. Yep. And the fact that a person who's played for the team in the past can actually get away with saying that is because he is so well respected, and people know that there is no way on God's earth would anyone, even on his worst bloody day, be able to say anything 10% of what we've said about the tatted twat.
He was a record signing at the time, I believe, and also played in the era before gloves.
Yeah, Adam knows that because I believe you got that wrong, didn't you? On the shot out in the last
but I
podcast.
Still won. So,
I was shouting at my car this morning when
in
you
your
got
dreams,
that
Adam. In your dreams, Adam. Remember that the final say is in the hands of the editor.
The thing is with that question, because Long has said record breaking. I just automatically thought about
he hasn't stopped making
day.
excuses, has he, James? He hasn't stopped making excuses. He's still making excuses, James. You don't know. You don't know how lucky you are, James.
Adam, who's your keeper?
I got to pick Robert Green, and that's because before him. We had David James as he was in his England career, but it was the tail end and he was already playing for England. But Robert Green was not anywhere near England. He came to us. The fans loved him. He was a worker. He was an intelligent bloke and just seemed like a really good guy. And so as West Ham fans, we don't get to see many players play for England. We just don't. And so when he got called up, it was like he deserved it. It meant we got to cheer for a keeper in the World Cup. Yeah, he did make that horrible mistake against America, but he
mistake. He never recovered from it. The guy was useless after that.
Well, I mean, it's gutting, really. I feel so sorry for him.
Kitty cat.
Meow, 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 meow.
James is smiling.
Robert Green has got an entire career of working really hard, doing really well. He makes one mistake in one match, doesn't play again for England, like that World Cup, gets dropped. Roberto can literally flap the damn ball in the net, and he still gets to start the next game. It just doesn't make sense.
Absolutely. I think the fans had a pretty special relationship with Rob Green, didn't they? Because it was. We were singing, what was it, England's number 6. We were singing, he had that typed on his gloves. He had England's number 6 typed on his gloves.
Yeah.
I got to admit, I did love him as well at the time. He
was a great shot stopper, wasn't he? He wasn't the best of shotters, but getting in the way of the ball, he was a fantastic shot stopper. For me, I don't know. I love Greeny. Shaka. You got to love Shaka.
Oh, Shaka Hislop was freaking brilliant.
Question number 2. Usilios, whatever his name is, has come under fire from the board. We spoke about this on Friday Night Likes last week. But what I want to know is, what is the role of a director of football? And is Husilos performing that role according to what he should be, in your opinion? Why or why not? Wayne, we'll start with you.
I think the question should be to the board. Do you know what the role of a director of football is? I don't think they want to really give him the ability to do what he needs to do. I don't think he's actually shown the ability to bring in decent alternatives. He seems to go for like all of the big flash money players, but other than Fabianski, who's he brought in that's been really any good? I really don't see it. I mean, Haller, yeah, maybe he'll actually turn out to be something because he's shown like he's got all the possibilities of that. But anybody else, I mean, just for the fact that he brought Sanchez in, for crying out loud, is enough reason for me to say he doesn't quite know what he's doing. The only thing I do like is the fact that we're not getting everything leaked to the press any longer and leaked to the in the know people any longer. And I think that's healthy for the club as a whole. But
apart from what goalkeepers starting next week, James.
True.
I have a roundabout theory about this. I think he's doing an adequate job, and I disagree. I think we signed some amazing players, but those players are being hindered by some really poor tactics from Pellegrini, and they're not being utilized at all. The 4-1-4-1 we've been playing is horrible. I said this the other day. It shows all of our weaknesses, shows none of our strengths, and we get exposed every week. And I think, Husilos is definitely hamstrung by the board in their cheap ways. And he, signing people like Sanchez and Roberto are just because there's no money. He's getting someone a body because he has no other money to bring in. And
Adam. Sorry. Go ahead, James. Finish up.
I'm done. I'm done.
He's done. It went on for too long. Well, everyone knows, director of football, they got one job. They go around measuring penis sizes of players because they need to check if it's the right fit for the manager. So that's,
what?
And well, that's what happens. I don't know about you three, but when he came to me, I mean, fair play. I'm not big enough for the club, so I didn't get picked. Here's what I don't understand: how else has anyone signed Sanchez? That's the only feasible reason is that I guess he's the perfect fit for Pellegrini.
Wow,
gives him. Managers say it all the time. We just misunderstand what they mean.
I don't know where to go with this at all.
I'm just.
What I was going to say originally, and my point is, in what world does a manager get to appoint the director of football who's supposed to be his boss? I mean, Adam, you've got that list on West Ham on the podcast that you read out every list from one Twitter user of, what is it, the 50 most West Ham things to ever happen?
Yeah, Jack Gambardella.
That's got to be one of them.
Brilliant.
Only at West Ham would the director of football be subservient to the manager. I mean, isn't the director supposed to be there to show the sustainability of a culture and theory of what the club should be doing? But instead, we seem to have brought one in that's good mates with Pellegrini because he's good mates with Pellegrini.
I think that when you look at most directors of football tend to be players who are tend to be like older managers who have either got experience, don't have a job, but, so they appoint them who knows what they do, or a manager's about to retire, and instead of retiring, they're like, I tell you what, you can be director of football. Like, it seems to be, in general, an irrelevant position. And so I think that, maybe Pellegrini wanted him to do something else and be involved with a club, and the board were like, I tell you what, we'll make him director of football. Because let's be honest, no one cares about it. And also, as far as the board are concerned, they're pretty smart. What they probably thought, which is exactly what's happening now, yeah, all right, we'll give him a position. That way we've got another scapegoat. You know, if things go wrong, all of a sudden the board can just, that's what they're doing. They deflect onto somebody else, right? And they deflect it on someone that they don't care about, but it means that they don't have to like come out and criticize Pellegrini, which they get slammed for. So instead of that, they just come out and blame his mate.
But it's something we asked for. It's something the fans asked for. We wanted Sullivan out of that position, right? And the director of football. Is he out of it? Well, I'm not saying he is, because he's certainly not. I don't think
never getting out of it, do you?
He's certainly not, but...
unless they sell, no.
That's what we asked for. Yeah. So if you're going to appoint somebody to do that, then I don't understand why it's Pellegrini's mate. James, Wayne, either you want to jump in on this?
I was just going to say, I agree. Like, I don't think it should have been Husilos necessarily. We do need a director of football, but we need someone to, like you said, bring in a culture to be long-standing no matter who the manager is. And I don't think that Husilos will stay once Pellegrini leaves. So what's the point in having him?
I'm not sure he'll be here by the time Pellegrini leaves. He might be the first guy to fall.
Didn't it seem like the appointment was the wrong way around? Shouldn't it be the director of football that comes in first?
Yeah, and brings in a manager that he thinks will fit the culture.
Exactly. As much as it pains me, I have to agree with Adam. It was the old boys network, wasn't it? A couple of mates that helped each other out in time of need, so to speak.
There's a term called Spursy. I think we can probably coin one called West Hammy as well. It's quite similar. Let's bring Wally back in. Wally, I didn't give you any notice on that. Sorry about that, fella. You look surprised to be on. How's everybody doing? What are the scores, Wally?
Well, we have right now we have James with 6 points. And
golf clap. Golf clap.
Adam with 8 and Wayne with 10.
Ooh. What the hell has that happened?
How's that happened?
Wayne must be making some good points tonight. I don't know. He was telling me earlier that he was preparing. So, well, we got a couple of questions left. So let's get into those. Changing gears now from West Ham. Let's talk about Adam and my era of growing up, our youth, a beautiful time in England, especially. Fantastic music. What song, band, or album most speaks to the 90s for you? What is the best? What epitomizes the 90s in your mind? Wayne, I'm going to come to you first. Hopefully you remember the 90s.
Yeah, I remember them because I came over here. To me, it's the 90s was kind of a dry period. It was just kind of a weird bunch of music for me. So I'm going to pick somebody that was classic, left over from the 80s and ran through the 90s with power, and that's Queen. For me, it's Queen.
Wasn't that? What year did that come out, Wayne? I can't give a
No, I told you it came out in the 80s, but they had a big run with a bunch of songs during the 90s as well.
It was reintroduced in 92 when it came out on Wayne's World movie.
Yes. James.
Exactly.
James.
The resurgence.
It was definitely only Wayne would come up with something from Wayne's World.
Excuse me?
James.
Totally. It has to be about Wayne's World. Party on, and you're not worthy, dude. You're not worthy.
For me, I think it was a toss-up between two, but I narrowed it down to one, which that would be the Nirvana MTV Unplugged album.
Yes. I was just listening to that upstairs.
It's so good. It's seriously so good.
Split your wrist, too.
Oh, man. It just really showed Kurt Cobain's genius, and
I'm
it was
depressing.
fantastic.
If I want to, I can kill myself. Yes, I always do.
Well, he only did it once. Adam.
This is really hard. It's a hard question, but I think even though I was Team Blur myself, I think...
How middle class are you, Adam?
Pardon me. Do you have any Grey Poupon?
Totally.
No, wait.
Posh.
What's the story? Totally. Morning Glory by Oasis literally epitomizes the 90s. Don't Look Back in Anger, like Wonderwall. I mean, these are the songs of my childhood, like Going to West Ham, and like absolutely.
That one's third on my list.
Oh, I know who number 2 is. It's Spice Girls, right?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Spice Girls are pretty high up.
Yeah.
It was a check up from the neck up.
And I think my answer for this question will be from the 90s as well. What is your favorite West Ham kit of all time? And I don't know. Let me see if I can live Google them at the same time. Wayne, let's start with you.
I would like to say the 1980 FA Cup winning kit, but I actually preferred the home kit from that year than the white kit. That's my favorite one of all time. Even though horizontal stripes make a fat fella look even fatter, it was my favorite kit of all time.
It's a solid
my all-time favorite shirt.
It's
just a brilliant looking shirt, and it was worn by some brilliant freaking players. It was worn by Bonds. It was worn by Brooking. It was worn by Lampard. It was worn by Alvin Martin. It was worn by a bunch of brilliant freaking players that we've yet to see anyone that can lick their boots.
Classic. I'll give you a thumb up for that one. James.
Actually, my favorite of all time is the one Wayne's wearing.
Yeah, I like it.
Then I don't need to find that one.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Followed closely by the Upton Park final year.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Adam.
Okay, so I'm going to do it in second place. I brought my props. This is my second place shirt, and mainly because I used to resemble Joey Cole a little bit when I was younger. Yeah. And I remember one game I was on my way to the ground. I used to look a bit like Joe Cole.
On a bad night, like when you'd had a few too many. When I was
shit out of him. When I hadn't moved to Texas and became bigger, because everything in Texas is bigger.
So you kept your mouth open like 10 hours a day.
Yeah, basically. And I remember one day I was on the way to a match. A Newcastle fan. They turned around to me. "Why, yeah, man, it's Joey Cole, like." True story. I was like, "Oh yeah, cool." I'm not, but my favorite kit of all time.
Were you wearing that shirt at the time, Adam?
Yeah, I think I was. I've only ever had two players.
You look like him because you had Joe Cole on your shirt. So
okay, you're getting worse. Okay, but my favorite kit of all time. These shirts are actually like mediums. I can't fit in them now. This is the best shirt of all time.
Oh, classic!
And let me explain why. Pony in Cockney rhyming slang is literally the word crap. Pony and trap, crap. So it's really like the West Ham way again to literally have a kit made by a company that, in East London, Pony is crap. So yeah, that's why it's my favorite.
That's a good choice, but you're all wrong.
Here we go.
What was your favorite one, John?
My first West Ham shirt of all time. Get in that BAC window.
That reminds me of Tony Cottee, that shirt.
Oh my God, what a shirt that was. Trevor Morley back in those days.
Yeah.
Who do we have? Dear God, Steve Potts back then, Tim Breaker.
Oh, legend.
God, what a team that was. And look at the away one. Dear Lord, I forgot about that. Look at this one.
Oh my God.
The blue one, yeah, that one's nice.
Oh God, yes.
The Argentina kit.
Yeah. Classic. That's before sponsorships got a little out of control. But thumbs up to everybody. Wally, I think, I don't know if I got James one for that one, but he deserves a thumb. That one as well. Now what we're going to bring you is a bit of a mashup. Pie and mashup, perhaps? I don't know. It's a bit of a mashup. So now this is the segment. Who knows what it is? It's Friday is while we drink, right? And we'll do a bit of both. But we're going to do the penalty shot out for these guys, and we're going to do one on video. I don't think anybody's actually doing a video of doing a shot live.
So there you have it, part one of this podcast adaptation of American Hammers TV's Friday Night Likes, which of course you can hear every Friday at 8:30 Eastern and 7:30 Central Time on the American Hammers TV YouTube channel. Go out and check out their channel for some great videos and subscribe to it so you get informed of every new episode by dinging the bell. So sounds like Wayne is in the lead with Friday Night Likes contest, but will it stay that way, or will someone else get to have their 2-minute rant at the end of the next episode? Well, to find out, please subscribe to West Ham is Why We Drink podcast at their website, which is, of course, www.westhamswhywedrink.com, or any of your favourite podcasting platforms. Part 2 will be released shortly after the Spuds match on Saturday, and look for another Cockney rhyme and slang episode title to be featured. Of course, that was my idea. The lads wanted me to read this list to you, so I didn't forget anything important. So thanks, lads, for giving me the opportunity here. We just want to say thanks to all of you for listening, and please help grow our family by sharing and commenting on social media, as the lads love to hear from you. Thanks to Tim and Lee at American Hammers TV for partnering on this episode, and thanks to John and Wally for being such fun to work with on Friday Night Likes. And will the owner of the leopard print panties that were sent to Adam please message him on Twitter, as he can't read your phone number? He's a lad. No, seriously, I saw the panties and they belong to a lad. Well, to each his own. Don't forget to follow the lads on social media, and hopefully Adam will be gracious and realise that Wayne is only having a laugh when he messes with Adam's dialogue in the editing phase of the podcast. It's all a bit of a laugh. Well, that's all for now. I've been your standing host, Jimmy Sullivan. Big match on Saturday, so I wish the Hammers all the best. And to my brother, is it all right if I park a couple of the ice cream vans near the stadium this weekend, mate? I could do with the cash. Well, I have to go, as I have my Jim will fix it ice cream van parked on a double yellow line and can't afford to get towed again. So, come on, you irons, smash them spuds, and all that's left to say is cheers.
Pretty bubbles in the air, they fly and so high, like my dreams they fade and die. Legends always hiding, I looked everywhere. I forever like bubbles, pretty bubbles in the air. I forever like bubbles, pretty bubbles in the air. I forever bubbles, pretty bubbles in the air. They fly and so high, like my dreams they fade and die.